What's up, people? We are back with more of Eden. In the previous video, Ryou and Sion kind of revealed their true feelings towards each other in a sense, and in the end, Ryou did decide that he just wanted to stay there, that he wants to spend their last moments together on this dying planet. So yeah, I'm kind of curious as to how Maya is gonna react to that, but we'll find out. She behaved just as I thought she would. Still, she looked quite surprised that I saw through her scheme. The girl, who walked with a frown on her face in the dazzling morning sun, suddenly went wide-eyed and dropped her luggage on the ground. Why are you here? I'm just on my way back from the fields. That sounds like such a lie. A stiff smile crept on Maya's face. Of course it was a lie. I was ambushing her. You could have just stopped by before I left the house. Getting the drop on me isn't just plain mean, or is just. Believe what you want. So, did you really plan to head out all alone? A part of me wondered if you wouldn't go out of your way to chase after me. I wonder, things could have gotten pretty rocky for you if you were alone, you know? Maya glared at me with a groan. Since she worked as a journalist, I was sure she had her share of miserable experiences. But even so, Maya's heart was still pure. Perhaps Sion accepted her interviews because she liked that aspect of Maya. But I'm glad I got to see you. Why? I'm sorry for hitting you. Maya blushed a deep red and quickly bowed her head. It wasn't something I should have stuck my nose into in the first place. Well, you threw things out of whack in a big way, but now I'm glad you came, Maya. Oh? I had considered leaving this place, but now I've been able to solidify my reason for staying with Sion even more. If not for Maya, I'm sure I would have just gone with the flow, never so much as realized how I felt, and welcomed the end. Thanks to you, I figured out the truth within me. So, in the end, you've decided to stay? Yeah, I nodded without hesitation. I made up my mind to give up my freedom and protect Sion to the very end. But I had no need for such a whimsical idea like freedom anyway. I wanted to put my life on the line to grant her final wish. I see. Aw, she looks very sad. She closed her eyes tight and kept grumbling. She was perplexed, worried, and confused, and looked like she could snap at any second. That was when Maya's grumbling suddenly stopped, and she let out a tiny sigh. Maya? No use arguing. You decided it all on your own. She opened her eyes, and her face was bright and cheery again. I took notice of the mixed feelings waving in and out of her cheerful smile. Don't cry. I'm not. Yes, you are. What? Maya jumped at the sudden sound of Sion popping up behind her. Sion didn't seem to pay it any mind and just yawned. You could have left a little later in the day, Sion said in a bitter voice, and Maya knitted her brows. Aren't you the one who was telling me I should hurry back or something like that? I forgot. That was too a definite lie. But Maya, you mustn't go off on your own like that. Yeah, but you know, we all have our tiny hellos, what the fuck? Hellos and goodbyes every day. But nobody knows for sure when a long farewell will come. Even I can't tell. That's why we have to see each other eye to eye, so that when that final goodbye comes, we can say we had no regrets. Yeah. Maya nodded with a humble look on her face. I was sure she didn't actually want to leave without saying a word, She just hadn't wanted to tear Sion and I apart. Also, wasn't it because she knew this was goodbye forever that she couldn't look us in the eye? Maya probably understood those sentiments all too well. Goodbyes are sad, but as long as we get everything out in the open, we won't have any regrets. I'm a journalist. It's common for me to meet all sorts of people, casually say see you, and then never see them again. Maya gazed into the distance, a tinge of sadness in her eyes. This time, it really will be goodbye forever. Sion, do you really have to make it so black and white like that? You're crying again. I told you, I'm not crying! Maya loudly denied it and rubbed her eyes. I was amazed she made it as a journalist with her heart on her sleeve like that. But maybe it was that human element was precisely why people tended to answer her when she questioned them. I caused you so much trouble. And in the end, I'm still just a novice, so even if I write the article, I don't know if it'll properly convey your story to the people of the world. I'm sure tales of Sion will be passed down through the generations into the distant future, whether or not I do anything at all. But even so, I want as many people as possible to remember Sion for as long as possible. I'll be on my way now. I'll tell tales of Sion for as long as I live. I'll see to it that it becomes my life's work. She kept talking on and on, hardly taking a breath, when Maya was suddenly taken aback, like she'd realized something, and her cheeks went completely red. Maybe that's a little arrogant. It wasn't. Sion smiled and shook her head. Just knowing I was able to point the way to a living world for people like you, Maya, gives meaning to all I've done. So live on, Maya, anywhere and forever. She's the type that'll live without end if you tell her that. Oh, I see. Sion thought about it a little. In that case, live long enough that you won't become a bother. Her face. I'll work on it. With Maya in a bit of a daze, Sion took a step towards her and gently embraced her. Aww, Sion? Have a safe trip. My ships will definitely give you a comfortable ride. I think you'll be able to write a great article. Yeah. Maya nodded, wrapped her arms around Sion's back, and hugged her tightly. The sight of those two girls embracing, with a songbirds whisper and shining morning sun in the background, looked downright sacred in my eyes. Their bodies slowly separated. Sion quickly drew to the side, leaving me face to face with Maya. That's right. May I write about you in the article as well, Haruna? I don't care either way, but I don't think it'll make for a very interesting story. Can I make it interesting? Are you planning to make things up? I was kidding. Maya smiled, but it felt horribly awkward to me. She was probably close to tears yet again. It's okay. I won't forget you, Haruna. And I'm sure there are others who won't forget you either. There aren't. There are. For example, a certain someone who is very pretty and is stronger than anyone, but looks very lonely. Did La Vie resent me? Or did I no longer mean anything to her? That thought hung over my head, ever so slightly. She threatened me not to say anything, but I'm sure she'd allowed me to think out loud about it. That sounds fine. For whatever reason, Sion arbitrarily gave her permission. She was looking off in another direction, so I thought she might not have been listening. When we talked about you, Second Lieutenant Levy whispered something to herself. I want to see you one more time. The sight of Levy suddenly appeared in my mind. It felt like I could hear her voice. I want to see you one more time. No, that wasn't the voice of the second lieutenant I knew. It resembled the frail voice of a slim, unreliable girl I once met on some distant battlefield. Ah, back in the day. Although she was a soldier, the uniform didn't suit her in the slightest, and her name was so long, it was a pain to address her. What was I doing remembering that now? That was all she said, but I never heard more powerful words in all my life. Come to think of it, we never did settle things between us. It's gotta be about that. I gazed at my own hand. There was a faint white scar on the back of my palm. The pain I felt when that knife stabbed me, I still remembered it. That near instant where flesh and blade melded. Looking back on it now, that had been my final battle. I have no objections to Levy being the co-star of Ryou Haruna's last performance as a soldier. Man, neither of you are honest. Coaxing the truth from dishonest people is your job. You're way too stubborn. I'm no match for you just yet. She smiled bitterly and shrugged her shoulders. Although, I was never able to get a statement from you. You've done nothing but evade the issue ever since we met. It's annoying to say goodbye like this, so I'm going to get you back just this once. I don't think I've done anything wrong though. I had seen her while bathing and thoroughly examined every inch of her body as well as her luggage. That was probably incredibly embarrassing for her. What would you like to do? Let me hit you. Just once. Wait, didn't you do this before? I seem to recall you hitting me once before. That was that. This is this. Surely you agree it's a light punishment for trampling all over a maiden's pure heart. Sure, fine with me. Huh? Really? Was she really looking forward to this? Maya slowly approached me with a delighted look on her face. She clenched her fist tight. Alright, here I go. Bam! She came up to me in the exact same fashion as the last time she hit me. And just like before, I saw it coming. However, at the very last moment, her fist unfurled like lightning. She held the back of my neck with that open hand and pulled me close. Her actions were so harmless that I forgot to even resist. What? By the time I realized it, our lips were touching. What? Maya's eyes were closed, and I couldn't read her emotions at all. But Sion is standing like right next to us. Our lips just barely made contact. Then Maya immediately pulled away, body and all. Hehe. Does a better number on you than a punch, doesn't it? What the heck are you thinking? I wonder. Maya smiled impishly, then for some reason looked at Sion. This is my parting gift. Giving dishonest people a shock is very effective in coaxing out how they really feel, right? I admit that's a common view. Oh my. She murmured in disappointment and hoisted up the bag she had thrown on the ground earlier. Well then, I'm off. Yeah. Oh, right. She looked like she'd remembered something. By the way, that was my first kiss. You better be grateful. You're saying that after forcing yourself on me? You accepted it though. She said cheerfully as she took a few steps backwards and put some distance between me and Sion. And in an instant, I knew. Even though we were far apart, We will never be closer than this ever again. I know this will only make me a liar, but I still want to say it, because I believe there still's hope. Sion nodded slightly and stood by my side. See you later. Aw, yeah. See you. See you again. Maya turned around with a swoop and ran off as her heavy luggage clattered behind her. She never looked back. We stood in place and watched her tiny figure disappear into the distance. There she goes. Yeah. There was no loneliness on Sion's face, because Maya had been a loud and boisterous person to the end, because she had conducted herself in such a way that we wouldn't feel lonely once she'd said farewell. I was glad that there was no sorrow clouding Sion's face. Ryou. She was staring intently at my face. No, my lips. Ryou, you fell for a surprisingly silly tactic. I never expected an attack like that. You don't have enough experience. Reflect on it. Was it my imagination, or did her tone sound unusually angry? As I found myself unable to decide, Sion clung ever closer to me. She squeezed my hand so tight it almost hurt. Like, god damn you kissed her? Or you accepted her kiss? Cause technically she kissed him, right? She started kissing Ryou first. Sion, let's go back to our home. We haven't eaten breakfast yet. Roger, I'll make some right away. The morning air was clean and clear, and the birds were signaling the start of a whole new day. Was that woman running down this mountain trail this very moment with all her might? As I thought about that, I felt a tug from Sion's hand. Walk nice and slow. We should have plenty of time left. Time all to ourselves, huh? Very soon, all of mankind will vanish from this world, and a final silence will envelop the planet as it waits for the end. I chose to use the time remaining for her, and only her. That was my single, final decision. Then the final act began. Sion's condition declined noticeably after Maya left. She would develop a fever from light physical activity, having little to no appetite, and she would fall into a long, deep sleep. Days where she would spend the majority of her time in bed became common. Even so, Sion never complained. She was perfectly content and seemed to be waiting for something. Alright, well, we're gonna end the video here and leave the final act for the next video. Oh my god, we had to say goodbye to Maya. Like, that was so unexpected that she, you know, quote unquote attacked us. Cause it's kinda weird, right? But I guess it I don't even know what that kiss was supposed to mean. Like, it could be just not necessarily a sign of love or anything, but just, I don't know. I mean, she called it revenge, an attack, so we'll just take it as that, I guess. Cause it's weird. If it were to mean love to her, with Sion standing right beside her, knowing that the choice that I've made to practically just stay with Sion and stick with her to the very end, and then she just decides to do that with Sion standing right next to me. But yeah, I don't know. It's oh god. I don't know what's happening. Like, Sion is getting more sick. I don't even want to think about what is even gonna happen in the final act, but we'll find out in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.